Good evening, Spectres. Oh, today I wanted to give you my thoughts and opinions on an extraction shooter I've been playing lately. If you don't know what an extraction shooter is, that's alright. I'll give you a quick briefing. An extraction shooter is a game where you build a loadout, gun, armor, etc., and go into a map and complete tasks such as killing bosses, killing other players, looting items of value, usually all three, sometimes just one. But that is the normal gameplay loop. If you think that sounds kinda like a battle royale, it kinda is, but there's a couple big differences. Instead of going in naked, you're, again, go in with a type of loadout or kit that you build yourself, using whatever guns, ammo, and strategy you might want to do. Such as if you want to go camp in a bush and rat, there's a shotgun and an SMG for you. If you want to do some Overwatch and snipe and not really loot anything but cover your teammate, bolt actions with high pen ammo for you. But that's basically the gist of the gameplay loop and what you can expect from it. Now that you have a good understanding of it, let's rip the band-aid off and go straight to the controversial stuff. This is a free-to-play game. As a result, there's no upfront cost to playing it, which is a good thing. More people can access it. I probably wouldn't be playing it if it wasn't. But the game has microtransactions of varying degrees of bad. The first and foremost is the game's in-game currency coin, which I will be referring to as rubles from now on, out of habit from Tarkov. Rubles are your basic currency. You buy ammo, guns, anything you might need in your loadout. You can buy rubles for real world money. You can swipe your card and get 1,000,000 rubles, just like that. Thankfully, they do limit how many rubles you can buy per day, which is good. It prevents people from going overboard and only ever running juiced high-end equipment. But the fact it's still there is not a good thing. But thankfully, you can pretty much, if you do partake in these things, you can get it with an affordable price. It's typically a couple dollars for a good chunk. Not, I wouldn't say a good chunk, but a decent amount. Enough for a decent kit. Then there's the next big issue I have with the game. It's the game's secure containers. Now, if you played Tarkov, you know what an alpha, a beta, and a gamma container are. But if you don't, I'll enlighten you. They are containers that allow you to put ammo, meds, or high value items that you find in raid and put them in it, and if you die, you still get to keep them, and they're unlootable off of your body. These items are beyond a doubt pay to win. But that's not my biggest issue with them. It's not the fact that you can buy them, it's the fact you have to rent them. If it's a one-time purchase, I wouldn't mind it as much, but the fact it's a rent service is some Ubisoft level of greed. We can't say EA anymore because EA is starting to rehabilitate themselves, but that's besides the point. Players renting these containers will always make profit on their runs. It's basically guaranteed if they find any type of valuable item. It encourages them to bring the barest minimum of gear and run straight to a safe to find a high value piece of merchandise, put it in the container, and just not care. You'll thankfully never lose a gunfight because a player has one of these containers, but again, you can kill a guy, loot his body, and find that he has no ammo, meds, or if he does have ammo and meds on him, it's likely because he has something he found that was worth value. And you knowing that you're not getting that because he swiped his credit card is not very a happy experience. Then we get to the skins. Now, I've been told by a friend that has a direct line of communication to one of the devs that this is changing in season 2, but I I still dislike the fact it's been in this game this entire time, which is how you obtain skins. There are two ways. The first is a battle pass. I don't mind or I care very much. I do have words about that, but that will come later. The main way of acquiring skins, though, is through a gotcha pool. If you don't know what a gotcha pool is, it's kind of like a loot box or slot machine. So, what will happen is you see the items there, you pay. Typically, a first pool's like a couple bucks. Very cheap. You spin once, but your spin is almost always guaranteed to be one of the trash items. There's typically 3 of them. So, you spin again, but when you spin again, the price increases and continues to do so for every spin you do. And even if you decide to buy all the spins at once, it's still taking in the account of that price increase, which is just horrible. And it leads to you just wanting one item and end up having to pay $100 for it. Yeah, that's not good. Or you dropping a good chunk of money and getting a skin you don't want. It's just horrible. Like, just horrible game design, horrible way to monetize. I honestly don't recommend anyone buy them at all. And my last minor gripe is the fact that the battle pass will expire with whether or not you've completed it or not. I'd like them to implement something like Helldivers to where you can always go back to the battle pass and put XP towards it. I'd happily like that. However, they have a system to where battle passes, once you complete them, keep repeating uh, certain items, which is fine, but I wouldn't mind if they remove that for the shelved versions. But I would like if the battle passes were always available to people who bought them. Uh, Other than those gripes, the game is fun. It's playable. It is definitely a learning curve, especially if you've never played a game like Tarkov or any heavy extraction shooter where you know if you know. Don't peek don't peek left-handed peeks. Aim for heads. Don't peek the same corner twice. Basic stuff. It's fun. It's Tarkov without inertia. It's a good game, especially if you have friends. It's fun. Money is relatively easy to get. There are instances where you can make yourself very poor very quick, but they have a lot of forgive mechanics. If you run out of money and you can't really make good kits, they have the scav feature from Tarkov where you can scav into normal raids. They have a high roller mode where you can have to meet a certain gear level to get higher odds of better gear. They have pre-made kits that you get like 5 tickets for that you can pick and bring into if you don't want to make a kit and run it, or if you don't have the money to make a good kit or enough to make the bare minimum. It's pretty good. There's a lot of quality of life stuff, but that's my thoughts. What are yours? Tell me in the comments. Tell me if you're playing the game. I'm Akagi, and I'm out.